Joining us now is Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California. He's the top Democrat on the Senate Rules Committee and a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee and Senate Budget Committee. Senator, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Now, normally in the United States Senate, when you get to that vote today and they fail to get 60 votes on that first procedural vote, that's the end of it. Everyone just walks off the floor and says, well, that can't pass. We go on to the next thing. What is happening now?
Yeah, well, they know the votes aren't there. Senate Leader John Thune knows the votes aren't there. And I think he's been telling Donald Trump that for some time now. But yet again, Republicans in Congress and Republicans in the Senate will bend to Trump's will. Donald Trump is demanding, he's insisting that they try to pass the SAVE Act for all the reasons we've begun to articulate. So, number one, they're going to keep trying. And number two, I'm on guard because of the stakes of this bill for any parliamentary trickery or shenanigans that they could try to use to force this through. That's why we've been organizing the entire Democratic caucus to be on alert, and we'll be there all day, every day, all week, multiple weeks, whatever it takes to kill this bill.
So Donald Trump has demanded that the United States Senate do nothing else. He's told John Thune, you're not allowed to do anything else in the Senate except pass this bill. And so that apparently is why John Thune has to come back at it.
Right. So on the one hand, there's the content of the bill, which is horrible, right? It's a voter suppression bill, to be honest. If, you're a married woman, you may be turned away at the polls if you chose to change your name. If you enjoy registering to vote at the DMV, sorry, that's not going to be an option anymore. If you like to vote by mail, that's going to be gone as an option for you as well. But why are we discussing this if the votes aren't there? That's the bigger question. It's because Republicans are scared of the political consequences of their horrible record. Donald Trump ran to lower prices. Prices keep going up on everything from housing to health care. Certainly the price of gas gone up significantly since this unauthorized war in Iran. So they can't run on their record. Their only chance of holding on to power this November is to change the rules of the game, and that's where the SAVE Act comes in.
So if you're at home and you think, well, I have a passport, I have nothing to worry about, this bill doesn't affect me. It affects every voter in California because it bans mail-in voting. And now, as it stands now, every voter in California has the option of mailing in their vote. As they do in other states have that option. This would ban that. And then it could also create problems, as you say, for anyone who's had a name change for marriage or any other reason. If your birth certificate is not from the state you're currently living in, how do you get that birth certificate? But there's another very strange provision of this, which is that Donald Trump's government would somehow obtain the right to the voting records of every state.
Right, and that's written into the bill. So there's the voter ID provision, which is really a bait and switch, because most people think, well, what's wrong with that? I have an ID, I have a driver's license. Most common IDs, including driver's license, don't qualify you to get into the polling place under this bill. Number one, the registration opportunities that I talked about, those are out the window. And third, to your point, this DHS having access to the personal information of every voter in America, we don't have to speculate what they could do with that. They're already doing that. There's 12 states that have agreed to give their data to DHS. Maybe it was voluntarily, maybe it was under political pressure, but these political appointees, these hacks at DHS, are now running those names through a faulty database and sending names back to the state saying, hey, this person's not eligible, take them off your list. And you know what the result is? They're not finding non-citizens that have been registered to vote. They're sending the names of U.S. citizens and telling states to take them off the rolls. This is voter purging. It's voter disenfranchisement. And if Republicans were to push the SAVE Act through, then they would do this on steroids with congressional authorization. It's high stakes. It's dangerous. All the more reason for us to do what it takes to keep it from happening.
So describing it as a voter ID bill does not begin to describe what this thing is really about.
No, it's voter suppression, voter purging, plain and simple. When a military ID doesn't get you into the polling place, a college student, public university student ID doesn't get you into the polling place. Only passports, which, as you said, half of Americans don't even have, or an original birth certificate. So you're going to have people looking in their garages, looking in their attics, maybe calling their parents, hoping they still have that. And short of that, you're probably going to be out of luck, just like Donald Trump wants it.
Senator Alex Padilla, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Lawrence.